Welcome to round two. We have been put on the draw for this game. This hand, I think it's keepable because we have the two Dryness emissaries. Ideally, we'd look to draw a 2-drop. So our opponent is on one of ramp or green-white tokens, and with a hangback walker, it's going to be green-white tokens. So let's play the Shambling Vent and pass. Okay, so the tokens deck. I've not really played this matchup, but I wouldn't imagine it's a massively favourable game for us. Particularly if we start slowly. So that's what we've done, sadly. I can't say I've seen Nissa too many times in the green-white tokens deck. So maybe it's not... Or not that Nissa, I should say. Maybe it's not that we're against. Be a Gideon. We'll not make that trade. Yeah. So we are finding the land that will enable us to hit Saurian on curve. Just attack Gideon, stop him from Anthem. And then we'll probably block Nissa with one of the Drama's emissaries. Just to stop Nissa. Okay, so let's go in aggro. Could have a pump spell. Because we're going to stop this from flipping here. Another Nissa, okay. Right, yeah. So we're not going to be able to stop Nissa from flipping, I don't think. Okay, so our second Saurian is actually quite a bad draw. If we attack Gideon again and play the Soothsayer. So the Soothsayer gives us some profitable blocks. Assume he swings in with Gideon. He might just make a Night Ally, because whatever he does, Gideon can die next turn. He's going to swing in with Gideon. I'll take that 5. So now we'd quite like to draw a land. Obviously we don't draw the land. Get Gideon off the table there. And Dramoka's command. Archangel Avacyn. So we can eerie interlude here to prevent the Drana's emissary from dying. I'm not really a massive fan of that play. I'm trying to think how we get out of this here. Avacyn swings in for 4. Yeah, we're practically dead on board. 2. Yeah, I think we are just dead on board. Avacyn swings in for 4 in the air. He activates Gideon, which we block Gideon, but he swings in with the other 3. Yep, so we are dead. Okay, so this is... It could be a green-white tokens deck. It feels a lot more like a green-white mid-range style deck. I think we're going to want the languishes for. No, that's the second time I've put Eerie Interlude, so it's probably really a sign we don't want it. Ultimate Price and Grasp are both good against Avacyn, because Ultimate Price kills her after she's Indestructible's left. Grasp kills her through Indestructible. We could contemplate bringing in more of that. Oath of Gideons could be a choice here. Get more creatures down. I think that might be the way we go. I'm a bit loath to do that because we're bringing in tokens and we've brought in Languish. They don't work well together, but say we don't draw Languish, I think we're quite happy to have Oath of Gideon. So we'll see how it goes. We will play first. We don't want to keep hands which are too slow. This hand's quite nice. Celestial Healer, Oath of Gideon. Yep, this hand's got a great curve. Just mention as well, Oath of Gideon is good with core entanglers, as it allows you to tap down 2 creatures. So I think we're just probably going to play things on curve now. Oath of Gideon into Cliffhaven Vampire rather than... You could save the Oath of Gideon for when you've already got the Cliffhaven Vampire out. We could Anguish on making the Advocate. That wouldn't be a horrendous move. That Advocate is generally bigger than most of our creatures that we're going to play. We have to tap for white. We are using an Anguished Unmaking, which is one of our ways of getting rid of, say, a Gideon. Which is one thing to consider. We do have limited ways to get Gideon off the table at instant speed. Okay, this is a Vastwood Seer. Finds a forest. Okay, so we have the 4th land, so we will just go for the Cliffhaven Vampire. And obviously not attack. So next turn, if we draw a land, we can go for Core Entanglers. If we don't, we just go for the Gideon. We could go for the Drana's Emissary. If we play the Drana's Emissary, we do 2 damage, we gain 1 life. But if we play Oath of Gideon, we gain 2 life and we do 4 damage. And attack for 2 more with the Cliffhaven Vampire. I think I prefer to go for the Drana's Emissary. Oath of Gideon could be really nice when Core Entanglers gets out, so... And Drana's Emissary has such good incremental advantage. Every turn we gain a life, they lose a life. Does our opponent have a Stasis Snare here? Presumably not. Okay, so they are Stasis Snaring... Presume the Cliffhaven Vampire. Oh, Drana's Emissary, okay. Intriguing. I think our opponents probably chose the wrong creature there. Okay, well, Grasp is a good draw. Okay, so everything comes down. That's fine. Grasp will kill her. So that worked out rather sweet. And then we play the Undo War Cleric post combat. The War Cleric's probably a creature we're willing to trade for Nissa as well, so. I'm trying to think. So what is our opponent going to play next turn? We can play Oath of Gideon and tap the Undo War Cleric to do 1, 2 off the Celestial Healer, 2 more off the Cliffhaven Vampire, 1 off the Cliffhaven Vampire for the War Cleric. So I kind of feel like we can let this through. So if we play Oath of Gideon here. So if we attack, I presume there's another Avacyn here. Secure the wastes for 5. That doesn't work. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's quite a nice way to win there. Shows what the deck can do. Quite a lot of triggers. What we're going to draw. Okay. So our opponent's playing a sort of a green-white mid-range deck. Of the cards we've seen, Grasp is better against Avacyn. Ultimate Price is probably better against the Southern Advocate, so I think I'll keep it at 3 and 2 rather than go for like a 4 and 1 mix. I'll keep the Languishers in. They could. There's quite a few targets for them. I think I quite like this build, so stick with it. Again, we'll be looking for a hand which has a fairly fast start. Oh, this is. Okay, so we're on the draw with only 2 land in hand, and our curve is really high. I think we can keep... The healer is the engine of this deck, and if we draw something like land, emissary, or cleric, I think this is a decent hand. 4 draw steps to find 2 land, and 2 draw steps to find a turn... or 3 draw steps to find a turn 3 play. Okay, so we've found a land, and Shambling Vent, which is probably our best land. Okay, so we want to play a Celestial Healer on turn 2. So we'll probably play the Shambling Vent on turn 3. If we draw a 3-drop now, it's slightly awkward. Because our opponent does have the token Nissa. As expected, we find the 3-drop. I'm not too... I think we can afford to keep Oath of Gideon in hand and play the Shambling Vent. Because if we go Cliffhaven Vampire into Oath of Gideon, say turn 5... that's not too bad. So, miss a turn 3 play. Our opponent could think we're holding up something like Grasp or Ultimate Price. Okay, so plus Nissa again. Another Hangerback. So this is definitely the more tokens game plan. We find the untapped land a turn too late. Rock out the Cliff Haven Vampire here. If we attack our opponent, I presume sticks one of the hangerbacks in the way. We don't particularly want to lose a healer at this stage. Presume our opponent -2 Nissa. Okay, well that's a weird play. Doesn't -2 the Nissa. Okay. Ooh, another Calestria healer works quite nicely. Because now we play Calestria healer and we get 2 triggers, and we play Oath of Gideon and we get 4 triggers on the healers and 4 triggers on the Cliffhaven vampires. So Oath of Gideon now damages for 8. On top of the healer damaging for 4 with the Cliffhaven vampire in play. If we play a Cliffhaven vampire this turn, we might be able to win just off the Oath of Gideon and the healer. So I think that's what we'll do. I think the maths is right. We'll attack Nissa. Just stop from ultimating, really. Look at our opponent play that messes us up here. Not that much. We're going to take some damage off of the Sylvan Advocate and presumably the 3/3 Hangerback Walker. Okay, Nissa minus. Presumably he swings in for 10. $10, 13. I think we just take it. And he leaves up an Archangel Avacyn. So we had the Anguish of Making anyway. So now we have to get this right. We have to play the Calestria healer first. Could have a Stasis Snare as well, I suppose. That would be a very annoying card. But the Oath of Gideon still hits. They fight. Ugh. That changes the maths. So Calestria healer does 3 damage. Oath of Gideon would do 2, 6. Right, so this Calestria healer comes in, drains for 1 and does 2 damage, so that's 3, takes them down to 14. The Oath of Gideon comes in and drains for 2, down to 9, and does 4 damage down to 5. And we can't win because our opponent will have 1, even if we fly over for 4. So here we just Anguished Unmaking. Okay, so we're going to fly over and kill Nissa. Next turn on the Crackback, we're going to have to block these Hangerbacks. Opponent could also have a Gideon, but we have to kill Nissa to stop the +1/+1 counters, I'm pretty sure. Could just play another Nissa. Stasis Snare. Secure the waste for 4. Okay. So depending on what they draw, going to have to line these blocks up quite well. I think we're at that stage where we can sack a healer to chump a Hangerback Walker, and then play Oath of Gideon to do the same damage it was going to do last time. So they've got rid of a healer. They attack with everything. If we block there and there, we take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, we take 9. Can't do that. So we do that, and we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I don't... Yeah, there's no way we can block favourably. Pretty sure. So yeah, this is a close game. We were one turn off of winning. Just yeah. If we'd... No, we didn't play nothing on turn 3. I don't think that really affected us. Yeah, close game. Hope you enjoyed watching. We will have a round 3, so I hope you'll join us for that.